Wizard YouTube channel. I don't even think anyone's here yet because I just announced the live, and let me straighten out my camera here. Today I don't have any pretty fruit to show you. Let's see, that camera's a little bit dirty. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Let's get started here. I'm gonna be building boxes. So I ship my avocados in these, well, all of our fruit, avocados, you name it. Whatever fruit we're shipping, I build these boxes. And in no surprise to anyone, the state of California has a lot of requirements. And so now they're telling me I have to mark the box with what's inside of it, which is fine, I don't mind. They inspected some of my boxes from the last shipment. They were cool with it. They told me that the boxes were inspected, but everything was found to be okay, and they were released to the customer. But they also put a note in there asking me to mark the boxes. And so I went on Amazon and found that I could make a little stamper. That this one is for the fruit called Mamey. I probably should have a Mamey in front of me here right now, but I'm all alone. I don't have any of my helpers. And so this is our box. We put our sticker, our little logo on it. And then what I'll need to do is right across from there. So that would be this. So that would be the opposite corner. And then maybe like down here toward the bottom of it. Let's see how this works. I'll stamp the word Mamey on there. Oh, I didn't get enough ink. Well, okay, that one's done. Let's try another one. So once again, we're gonna go opposite corner, I think, right? Yeah, so let's see, that goes, the sticker goes there. So like that. And then let me do a little more ink in my pad. And then in the meantime, I gotta start welcoming people. I'm guessing there might be a handful of people. Oh, we got 10 people already. Who's out there? Send me a little chat. Joe Blow, he's starting on his first beer already, Joe. Nothing like a Tuesday afternoon beer, am I right? Where are you at, Joe, anyway? What part of the world are you in, Joe Blow? And how'd you come up with that nickname? Well, I could think of one way you might not want to say. Well, I could think of two ways you might not want to say. Or maybe you're proud and you want to say. But, yeah, how'd you come up with a nickname, a YouTube name like Joe Blow? Okay, so what I do is I put my little pad and I shake it up with the ink in it. Oh, Joe, you're down deep in Texas. Okay, fantastic, man. All right, let's see if this gets a little bit of a better stamp here. Oh, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So now when I close up the box, you know, when I close it up, well, close it up like this. And then when I close it up, I'll have the customer's label here. And then the state of California, if they go to inspect it, will know that it's got Mamey in it. Perfect. Works out perfectly. I had that made for avocado. And I also had one made for mango. Even though the state of California won't allow me to import mangoes, they won't take mangoes from the state of Florida. But I'm in the process of working through that. So I got my hands on the, I talked to the people out of the Department of Agriculture in California, and they told me what I need to do to show all the proper inspections, treatments, etc. for the fruit fly. California doesn't want the fruit fly riding in on a shipment of fruit, which I understand. As a farmer, I don't want any critters coming here to Florida either that are going to damage our crop. And so the state of California has some requirements of inspections and different things you have to have done. So I'm in the process of working with Tallahassee, which is the capital of the state of Florida, to see if I could get certified for selling mangoes in the state of California. I could send green mangoes. If we pick them a few months early, people eat them green. We can send green mangoes to California, but we can't send Mamey. I'm sorry, we can't send mango. Since I'm a commercial farmer, I can ship avocado, I can ship Mamey, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff I can ship Monstera deliciosa to California, but there's a whole list. Most fruits California won't take from Florida unless you go through a significant, inspection and pre-approval process. So I'm in the process of having that done now. But I'm just gonna stamp all my boxes, whatever the fruit is, Mame, Avocado, Monstera. That way, if it does make its way to California, I'll be good. Let's see who else is out here. Arco Sao George, hi there. Are you, is that like a Brazilian, Portuguese, kind of thing? Are you from Brazil, Arco, or maybe Portugal? Your name I don't know, for some reason it feels Portuguese to me. Let us know. Joe Blow, you've heard it as Joe Blow from Kokomo, just your average Joe. Question, is Kokomo even a real place, or did they make it up for that Beach Boys song? Because they reference real places, right? Aruba, Jamaica, blah, blah, I want to take care or whatever, right? All places where tropical fruit grow amazingly, by the way. But then they have this Kokomo. Let me Google this. Is Kokomo a real place? Is Kokomo a real place? Let's see. Is Kokomo a real place? Okay. There's various places. A city in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why we would jump from Aruba, Jamaica, Key Largo, Montego, right, to Indiana. Makes no sense at all. And it's also, they say it's off the Florida Keys. There's a little place called Kokomo. There's another one that's a private island in Fiji, also not right off the Florida Keys. It's just about as far from the Florida Keys as you can get. In fact, Fiji and the Florida Keys, if they were any more apart around the world, they might be closer from the other direction. Oh, no. Okay, the Beach Boys song, Kokomo, is fictional and not based on any real place. So how do you like that? They had real places, and then they just make up this place called Kokomo. Well, whatever, that's artist. I'm not going to criticize them. I'm sure they wouldn't criticize my avocado videos, right? My tropical fruit videos. The topic for today, and really, I just wanted to do this so you guys could keep me company, because I got hundreds of boxes to do, is fruit set. I want to know if y'all grow fruit. How is your fruit doing? Specifically mangoes. Are you getting mangoes yet? We've been picking Mame since the end of January. We've been picking Sapodilla, although I didn't get a lot of Sapodilla this year, but my trees are still kind of small. I have to sneeze. I only have about a dozen or maybe 10 Sapodilla trees, which will eventually get huge. But right now, they're still not big enough that I'm producing Sapodilla in any kind of like commercial quantities. But we're going out every night. My wife shakes the tree and comes in with a big pile of Sapodilla, which is awesome. I walked the grove the other day to check on the mango fruit set, and it is amazing. I guess anything's going to look amazing compared to how bad last year was, but I've got some great fruits that I have a variety of mango called Naomi, and oh my God, it's loaded. They're golf ball sized already. My Valencia Prides are freaking out. They're full. Every branch has a bunch of mangoes on them. Now, it's my experience that, it's going to be one mango per panicle. So right now, if there's a panicle with 3 or 4 mangoes, 2 or 3 of them will drop and I'll have one remaining, but that's the way nature works. Let me try doing this a little bit of a different way. There's like a grain on this box. No, it comes out better the other way. So we'll stamp these guys. Okay, who's here? Okay, Arco, he is, you're in Portugal. Okay. I know there's a burgeoning avocado business in Portugal. They're starting avocado groves there. Broke Farmer, how you doing? How you doing, Broke Farmer? How's your fruit set going? Let us know what's going on in the spring out there. Oh, my brother asked me to send him a link of this live. Let me just send this to him. Here we go. There we go. All right, I just sent the live on to my brother. I'm going to send it to Paul at Fruitful Trees. See if he comes. I go to his lives all the time. Oh, my brother's already on it. He must have found it on his own. Cax Zarder, you're in Tampa. You're looking for a recommendation to round out your avocado collection to get fruit year-round. You have Oro Negro, so you've got the winter covered. You have Joey, which I don't know when that comes in. Brogdon, which is August. You got Apme, which is going to be April, May. You got Lara Purple. So unless the Joey, I don't know when you pick the Joey. So let me know when you pick the Joey Cac. But let's start with the App May. So App May, you're going to have April and May and June covered. April, May, June. You also have the Lara Purple, I think, comes in like mid-season, like later summer. So then you'll have the Brogdon and you'll have the Lara Purple. Then you won't have anything till your Oro Negro maybe in December. So I think you said you're looking for 3. 2 I would recommend would be, you need a summer variety, like you need like a July variety. Miguel is a great summer variety. Miguels are awesome. You could also put in a Choquette, which would get you like September, October, November, and then that gets you to your December Oro Negro, which will get you through till about February. You're still going to have a little dead spot for the month of March, and then in April, your App May will start producing. And so I think you're doing pretty good. I don't even know if you need 3. I mean, unless you really like to eat avocado, you're going to have an awful lot of avocados produced. Arco Sao George, shit weather there. It takes time to come out of the winter. Yeah, our winter is like a Saturday afternoon down here. We'll have like a little cold breeze move in. Everyone puts their gloves and leather jackets on, and then the next day it's over. I grew up in winter in Northeast Pennsylvania, and I don't miss it. Cac Zarder, Mahachinook is the only mango with fruit set. I'm looking at a Mahachinook. I could see it right outside my window here, and it is such a beautiful tree. It's got that classic sort of inverted pyramid mango shape. Oh my God, it's just beautiful. And it was a little late to flower. Last year it did really good for me. This year, I thought it wasn't going to flower at all. And then it finally flowered a little late. There's no fruit on it yet, but I expect to get some fruit. Mahachinook is a very good producer. It's a reliable producer. Broke Farmer, you got plums and peaches flowering up in Georgia. We're gonna trade some fruit. I'm gonna trade you some of my fruit for some of your peaches. Let's not lose track of that. Growing Rare Fruit in Paso Robles. How you doing? Yeah, I'll keep you updated on shipping mangoes to California. It's typical government thing. I call California, they send me a link. I try to show the people in Tallahassee the link. They don't really know what California's talking about. I think it's just gonna take me to maybe either get the 2 people and me on a conference call together, or maybe I'm talking to the wrong people. I don't know. I know it would be really easy if it was like citrus or certain other fruits that the Florida and California already have like a code number worked out. And there's like an inspection with a certain code number, and you would stamp that or put a sticker of that on your box and send it. They got that for carambola, for guava, for certain types of citrus. They don't have anything that's like they don't have a mango program just yet, but I mean, it's not like you need a mango program. I just need to show that my grove is free of Caribbean fruit fly, which, if we have Caribbean fruit fly here in South Florida, they lock down everything. Like they go onto people's farms and knock the crop down and destroy it. If there's Caribbean fruit fly here in Florida, everyone in the whole country is going to know, because it's going to raise the price of produce. It happened one time since I've been doing this. We had a big quarantine, and I happened to be just outside of it. And so not only was I not affected by the fruit fly, thank God, but also because so many people were, I got my price doubled. So I had an amazing year that year, my best wholesale year ever. But I want my customers in California want these mangoes, and so I'm working to make it happen. Frosty, what's up, buddy? I told you we'd talk today, right? Oh, you were supposed to do a stream this morning. You know what? About 2 months ago, a woman ran a stop sign, hit my truck. And I've since fixed it and everything, but I noticed it's been pulling to the right, so I had to take it in for alignment today, and I missed your stream. I'm sorry about that, Frosty, but how you doing? How's things up where you live? I don't know if you want me saying. Okay, Sid J is listening while on the road. Thank you, Sid. Yeah, okay. So, Cax Zarder, you're going to be eating avocado on everything. You really are. Arco Sao George, can I post avocado scions? I actually did, Jorge or George. I'm not sure what you want me to call you. Arco. I'll call you Arco for now. I wasn't going to sell cuttings this year because I don't want to take cuttings from my trees every year because, I need that growth um, to produce fruit the following year. But so many people have been asking for cuttings that I put them back up. So you can go to guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. You can go to guacfarm.com and buy some cuttings. And if you're looking to buy any fruit right now, I have mamey, delicious mamey. Also at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. Oh, the mamey is so, when you cut them open, oh, they smell so good. Let's see, what else do people have to say here? Oh, Joanne, how you doing, Joanne? She's making sauce today. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby's always going up on that damn ladder. I know, ever since he got his hip, Joanne don't want him going up on the ladder, but he still does. That's our old neighbors from Pennsylvania. That's my brother telling me about them. They're always fighting with each other. Oh, okay, Arco, you've planted a bunch of avocado trees out in Portugal, on an island in Portugal. That's awesome. And you're saying your orange trees have tons of flowers. Oh my God, is there any better smell in the world than a flowering orange tree? I mean, that smell. Although a flowering longan tree would give it a run for its money, longans have such a nice smell to them. Little bit of a dead spot there in like late June into July through August. Then your Brogdons will kick in. Like I say, if you want to cover that beginning of summertime period, Miguel is an awesome choice. Noah, there's a mango near your house. You're pretty sure it's not grafted. It must be 30 years old and nobody takes care of it. The mangoes are great and it produces 3 or 4 per panicle. Yeah, there's some varieties that they do cluster multiple on the panicle. What I was referring to earlier were my Valencia Prides, which are typically 1 per panicle. Tell me this, Noah, what makes you say that tree is not grafted? Tell us what makes you say that. And you're going to try to graft it. So what do you mean by that, Noah? Are you going to take a cutting from that tree and graft it to a seedling? Or are you saying you're going to put a seed, you're going to go to that tree and put something on it? And just to be clear to everyone that's listening, the mango tree is near your house and nobody takes care of it. I just want to be clear that I am not a big fan of people messing with other people's trees. And so, nobody takes care of it and it's on an old, dirt road in a back alley in a lot nobody owns, or it's in someone's front yard or backyard and they don't take care of it, because it's really not our place to take care of other people's fruit trees, be they neglected or not. So I just need to say that because I'm not really in favor of us in the fruit community messing with other people's trees. And I would never want to recommend or condone that behavior. So let us know, who am I even talking to here? Where'd you go? Oh, Noah. So let us know, Noah. Like I would try and establish who the owner is out of respect for them before you went grafting to or taking cuttings from someone's tree. As a guy who owns thousands of trees, that's my feelings on it. Arco has a question before he goes to bed. What's your question, Arco? Can I post avocado science? I already answered your question. Okay. Big O, hello from Tampa. What is a good 25-gallon pot avocado? Okay, yes. Any type of avocado that gives a small piece of fruit. You don't want a big old 4-pounder for 2 reasons. Number one, Tommy, do me a favor. There's 2 mamey in there on the table and some sapodilla. Bring them in so I could show these guys that stuff. When you're growing fruit in a pot, you want varieties of fruit that are smaller. And avocados, you can get them that a Hass avocado is on average 5 ounces. My choquettes that I grow could get up to 4 pounds each. Thanks, Tommy boy. And so here's a little fruit, make it more what you guys are used to seeing here since I stopped doing the boxes. So if you're going to grow something in a 25-gallon container, say in a condo, you might think Hass, which is like 5 ounces. The Lula, they get to about 6 or 7 ounces. They rarely break half a pound each. Lula, that's a good one. Tower 2 makes a very small, also sub 1 pound fruit. If you need to get up like in the 1.5 pound range, you can maybe get away with a Hall, although every now and then Halls are going to grow, over the 2 pound. And there's 2 reasons I say you'd rather smaller fruit, and actually it comes just in time. Consider this a large fruit, this a medium fruit, and these guys small, right? If I'm growing in a pot, there's only so much nutrients in that dirt and so much fertilizer that I put in there, and it's a small tree. There's only so much light it could process via photosynthesis to convert those nutrients into fruit, biomass. So you can either get 2 big 4-pound avocados, you'll get 8 pounds of avocado, but an avocado that weighs, say, 4 ounces, right, you're going to get 32 in the same 8 pounds. So not only are you going to, you might get like the same amount of avocado flesh or weight, but you're going to get it in more smaller fruit. Why is that good for a pot? Well, because of reason 2. A tree can hold up a small piece of fruit much easier than it can hold up a 4-pound piece of fruit. And when you have a tree in a pot, it's not developing a strong trunk, it's not developing strong branches. So not only will you only get 1 or 2 fruit on the tree, but that fruit might snap the branches or might just, pull the whole tree down to the ground. So you want to get something that's a little smaller in size. And like I say, Lula, Tower 2, Hass, Fuerte, those are some good small ones. Oh, Booth 8 is a really good small one. Booth 8 is a delicious avocado, and they're only about 5 or 6 ounces each, too, or maybe 8 ounces or so. Let's see. Another person from Texas. Derek is out there, loves the channel, planted a 3-gallon sapodilla. Should you cut off the fruits or flower in the first 3 seasons? Darren, I would discourage it from fruiting at least the first year, maybe the second. Sapodilla can grow really, really fast. If you're keeping it in a pot, you might as well let it fruit. If you're putting it in the ground, a sapodilla can really shoot in the air. And for those of you unfamiliar with this question, what Derek is asking me is in its early years of fruit tree, again, this goes back to what I said about using photosynthesis to convert biomass from under the ground into fruit that we eat, right? That's what a tree does. A tree is an energy conversion machine, right? You're only gonna, so the tree can produce roots. It can grow wood, meaning, stem and branches. It can grow leaves. And early in a tree's life, that's what you want. You would rather your tree to grow really fast. Well, if your tree decides in year 2, a grafted tree, say, decides it wants to produce flowers and fruit, well, now your tree is going to expend its energy on growing flowers and fruit. And you might only get 2 since it's a small tree at the time, right? Are you willing to trade, 2 little pieces of sapodilla fruit for maybe 2 feet in growth? So next year, if you grew the 2, then next year you might only get 10. But if you prune away the flowers, you might get 20 or 40 next year. And if you prune away the flowers next year, then certainly in your 3rd year, where you might have only got a dozen or 2 dozen fruit, you might get hundreds of them. I mean, sapodillas load up the tree. So that's what we're talking about here. So I would absolutely recommend you prune away any type of flower and fruit growth in the first season, and then see how big your tree is next year. If your tree's, taller than you and pretty big, and maybe you do let it grow a little bit of fruit and just let it grow at its own pace. Also, it depends how old you are. So a lot of people don't have 6, 7, 8 years to wait around. Arco asked a question about shipping laws. Oh, post. You meant post, like the Brits say, like, can I ship avocado scions? No, I can't, not outside the US. No, I won't be able to send them to Portugal for sure. But the upside for you is, like I say, there's a lot of groves being planted in Portugal right now. And So you can maybe find yourself some cuttings over there. Or in Spain. My sister-in-law lives in Spain, and she was down, I guess it would be what, southwestern Spain, because she was on a FaceTime call with me and turned the camera and I could see the Rock of Gibraltar. So wherever she was, where you could see the Rock of Gibraltar from the shore, from the main line, she showed me videos of a big giant avocado grove that she walked through. So I know they grow avocado there too. George has the best avocado he ever ate on his land. And then we have a lot of people here. This is great. Hey, well, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna call him Arco. Frosty's doing good. Kate Haywood, Kokomo is a real place, and you've been there in Indiana. But tell me, Kiki, do you think that's the one the Beach Boys are singing about? Like Aruba, Jamaica, you're on a beach, you're sipping a little pina colada or whatever people do, and then all of a sudden you're in Indiana. Doesn't make sense. Hella Dragons, how you doing? At Adamo, Russell tastes 1 out of 10. Oh, Russell's a 10. Russell is up there in avocado flavor. So this person, what's the name? Adamo or Adam O? Adam O, maybe? Was asking me, how does the Russell taste? The Russell is a long avocado. They can grow up to 4 pounds, and when you stand them up, they look like a bowling pin. They're like an elongated pear shape. They really look like a bowling pin, and they're huge. They have a very creamy texture and a buttery flavor, and they are easily one of my tops. Yeah, I definitely give it a 10 out of 10, assuming the scale is 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. It's up there. Noah, he's saying, Arco, you should graft seedlings. Hella Dragons, you have 2 more boxes of Mame on the way. I know who you are. I was just looking at your label on my desk for the next picking. So this was the last batch I sent you, which are just starting to soften. The last batch that went on are still a few days away. I didn't send this one because I nicked the little end here. But anyways, yeah, you still got 2 more labels to go. And then who else do we have here? Aka, I can't pronounce the name. Hi, how you doing? I have not tried the Lila avocado or the Lila avocado. No, I have not. Frosty, you've been doing blindfolded runs. Yeah, you were telling me in the comments the other day. How's that working out? And Sid just ordered Mame. Thank you for the compliment on the website. Oh, okay. So, it's on a golf course, and he asked the previous owner of the house. Yeah, no, I mean, as long as you got permission or it's not owned by someone. But like I say, it's a sensitive thing for us here in the fruit community because we could lose thousands of dollars when people rob our farms. And a lot of people say, oh, well, in a neighborhood, it's, this old lady and she lets most of the mango drop to the ground. Don't matter what the old lady wants to do with those mangoes. You know why? They're hers. They're not yours. And I'm not talking to you, Noah, because you're asking for permission. What I mean by that is it's not cool, no matter what. That is the landowner's property. He doesn't go onto your property and change the oil in your car because he thinks you're not maintaining your car the way you should. And for some reason, people, they just don't understand how rude and in fact illegal it is to pick other people's fruit. It's not cool. Sid, what type of soil do I recommend? Happy Frog. You're talking about in a pot. Happy Frog all the way. I think there's some other people. I know there's one on this thread that use it also and swear by it. Happy Frog all the way. Mats Olson, any experience with the Wirtz variety? I don't grow it myself. I have tasted it. It's good. Yeah, it's not like I'd go crazy to get one like, say, I would for the Marcus Pumpkin or the Lula, or like I was just talking about the Russell. But yeah, definitely a good variety. It's advertised as a dwarf tree, which, you got to be careful with that word dwarf tree, because when we're talking about avocado trees, an avocado tree, on its own will grow to 40 by 40. The Wirtz will grow to 30 by 30. That's hardly a dwarf, meaning you still have to prune it. And also, regardless of what type of tree you have, people say, well, I don't have a lot of room, I'm going to buy a dwarf. Well, you could really buy any tree you want and prune it, because you're going to have to prune your dwarf anyway. But it definitely has like dwarfish tendencies. It grows kind of leggy. The fruit kind of hides inside. Yeah, and it's easy to get your hands on a Wirtz because they sell them at Home Depot. Home Depot relabels them as the little Cado, but that's the Wirtz variety. This red line recording, did I ship out your Mame Sapote? No, if you ordered it yesterday, I did not ship it. We're picking about every 10 days right now. So he's talking about Mame Sapote, which is this fruit right here. And the way we know if it's ready, because it can take 18 months to ripen. They first pop on the tree, they're like a little berry. Then they kind of grow to like a little tennis ball, and then they start to go. And so when you're picking this year, you will have some on the tree that are for next year. So like this big guy here, obviously he's going this year, but we still have to scratch the skin and look. It doesn't work once they're off the tree a couple days like this, but we scratch the skin and then we look for pink coloration under the skin. If they're green, we leave them up there. If they're pink, we pick them. Well, you might have one this big and one this big on the tree. And this guy's ready to go this year. We scratch it and it scratches red. But there might be one just a little smaller than this that's going to make it all the way to next year. We give that guy a scratch and there's still green, we know to leave it on the tree. And so right now we go through the grove about once every 7 to 10 days. And so a little bit of trivia, if you're ever in a market, maybe not so much a supermarket if it came like an import or something like that, but if you're ever at a farmer's market, a lot of times if you look at your Mame, you'll see a few slit marks where people have scratched to see if they're scratching to color. We also scratch the middle. Here's a little scar where we scratch the middle, and then we'll also scratch the top to make sure it's pink, pink, and pink, and then it's ready to pick. We do the same thing here with these guys, these Sapodilla. We scratch the skin. You could see here 2 scratch marks. Let me see if you can see that. I got a little lag here, but yeah, you can see those scratch marks. So there's one here. Okay, there's one here and one here. So the first scratch, it scratched green, so I left it on the tree. The next time I scratched it, it scratched yellow, so I knew it was time to pick it. And then I'll just let it harden on my counter. And then I got this one here that's ready to eat right now. Let me crack it open. I'll show you what they look like on the inside. Here's what a Sapodilla, which is the little baby cousin of the Mame. They're so good. I call them tropical pears. They've got the consistency of a pear. Oh, that smells so good, and that beautiful brown flesh. These things taste like molasses. There's a little kick of cinnamon to them. Sometimes if you let them get really ripe and soft, there's one here, it might have fell off the table, that's like kind of overripe. Oh, this is it. It's kind of a little bit even overripe. This one will taste like maple syrup. They just get so, I'll show you how dark the flesh will be on this one. Wait. Oh yeah, you can see a difference. Look at how much darker the flesh is on this guy here, that he might be like 2 days longer off the tree than this one here. And man, when we let him go this much, oh, such a strong flavor. Look at how dark that flesh gets. That's good. And they've got the texture of a pear. The flesh has that grit to it. And we don't have enough of these yet that we could sell them commercially, but we are selling the Mame, the older cousin. This is pink, salmon colored inside. It's beautiful. It's like nature's pudding. You scoop it out like pudding. You put it in the fridge. Oh, it's so good. You freeze it. It's like nature's ice cream. And if you wanted to get some of this Mame, you could get it at guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. We're also taking pre-orders for avocados and mangoes, which we can talk a little bit about mangoes if you want. Let me get through some more commercials here. Holistic Heritage, how you doing? What's my opinion on the Loretta? I've tried the Loretta once and I liked it. A very big, oblong, almost cucumber looking specimen is what I ate, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Big O. Okay, good. I'm glad you liked the answer, and good luck with your choice of variety for your potted mango. Jupiter Mojo, how you doing? Yeah, I'll be at the Mango Festival in West Palm Beach. I'll be there for sure. Actually, Jupiter, if you don't mind, if you're still there, go ahead and put a link to it in the chat so people know what we're talking about. But on June 29th, the guys up in Palm Beach County, you see them on my videos, and I go on their videos and stuff. They're holding a Mango Festival. I think it's June 29th. I don't want to give the wrong details, but I will be there. But I'm not. I'm going just as a as a participant, just like you, just like anybody. I'm not gonna have any kind of role. I'm not gonna have a booth or a tent or anything like that. I'm just gonna pay and go like anyone else. So yes, I absolutely will be there, and I can't wait to meet everyone, see everyone I already know, and meet new people. Big O's gonna be in Homestead, Miami. Yes, we sell these, and we sell the t-shirts and stuff. If you want to come by, go in the about section and it'll say send an email to creator. Send me an email and we could link up when you're here in Homestead. Hyper King wants to know my favorite mango variety. Well, like most fruit lovers, I don't have a straight answer. And I apologize for that. But it's really hard to pick a favorite because, like, from a growing perspective, hands down, my favorite is the Valencia Pride. From a growing perspective. Why? Because it grows fast, it's very productive, it's reliable, it produces every year. The mangoes look beautiful. They're very long and they're multicolored. There's shades of blue and yellow and red and orange and and green. You know, they're just gorgeous. And they hang from a very long stem and they kind of droop. They look like droplets of like raindrops coming down. They make a very beautiful tree. And I love the flavor of the Valencia Pride. Now, a lot of people consider the Valencia Pride like a classic variety. And some people prefer the more fancier varieties that have, you know, maybe more complex tastes and stuff like that. But I love the Valencia Pride. And a good Valencia, you'll get a strong classic mango flavor. You'll get a little citrus hint. And some of them will even give you a little bit of a coconut flavor. And so, you know, I probably would say the Valencia Pride overall is my favorite mango. Now, if you ask me my favorite flavored mango, you know, the like the best mango I ever tasted, I gotta go with maybe lemon zest, sunrise, or white Perry. I might have to go with white Perry. Delicious mango. Now, all of those three are, to me, very rich. So you take a classic Florida mango, a Hayden, a Glen, a Valencia Pride, a Kit, a Kent. I could have a big box of them and just stand at the sink and eat mango till I fall over. The ones I just mentioned to you, the lemon zest, the sunrise, the white Perry, there's a few others. Paul from Fruitful Trees, he grows amazing varieties in his backyard. I love them, and the taste is delicious. But they're so rich. It's almost like when you have a dessert at a really good restaurant, and it's so delicious, but you can't eat another bite because it was just so much flavor. It's like an overload. But I do like those varieties that I mentioned. But I guess overall, like if the question was phrased like you can only grow one variety mango, which would it be? I'd pick Valencia Pride for the reasons I stated. Now remember, I'm also a commercial fruit grower. And so productivity and predictability, consistency matters to me more than most. And my customers love the Valencia Pride. Oh, Frosty, you've been working out. Fantastic, man. Oh, it's been working out good. I thought you meant you were working out, but you're saying the blind runs. I got you. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Jupiter Mojo, your new Lula didn't flower. So what are the chances Oro Negro and Brogdon will set fruit? Jupiter, I can't remember. Are they in the ground or in pots? And I gotta think the Brogdon is flowering because I know the Brogdon and they're crazy flower. Like the Brogdons get covered. They look like a mass of yellow. They look like just one big giant mass, millions of flowers. So I gotta think your Brogdon's flowering. But let me know, are they in pots or in the ground? And I can answer your question better. How you doing, Plania God 813? Mary agrees with me. Thank you, Mary. Occam's razor. You had a guy give you an avocado years ago that had a bizarre shape. You found out later it's called a Wilson. Yeah, you could still find Wilsons. And it's not quite, it's oblong, a little like the Russell. But the Russell, that looks like a bowling pin, I mean. But the Russell is by mostly symmetrical. It's not, it's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's symmetrical. That Wilson has that longness to it, but it's asymmetrical. It's just a weird long-shaped avocado, and it's named after Wilson Papineau, who was one of the early pioneers in bringing avocado from Central America into North America, but also trying to understand the history and lineage of the fruit itself. And his story is really amazing. And he was going down into the jungles and stuff back in the days when, like, Indiana Jones times, when the guys, like, they'd shine their shoes and put on a tie and go walking through the jungle, you know. And he discovered that even in the early 1900s, so 120 years ago, he couldn't find a native avocado because the indigenous people to those regions were already selecting. They were already keeping the trees that gave good fruit and cutting down the ones that didn't. And then, of course, the ones that were kept were the ones that were able to breed, and they would breed with other ones that were kept. The ones that were cut down, of course, didn't breed. And that's how we got a lot of the foods we eat to this day. We just kept selecting and breeding the better varieties. And then somewhere along the line, a variety was so good, someone said, man, you're so good, I wish I could clone you. And he had the idea to take a cutting and stick it in another tree, and that cutting grew. He planted a tree inside a tree. And grafting had already begun when Wilson Papineau was going down there, but he couldn't find like a truly wild avocado even back then. Interesting story. Yeah, hell, I can't wait till I can ship mango to California also. Noah wants to know, do I think air layering is worse because of the roots not being from a rootstock? No, I'm not so much worried that the roots aren't from a rootstock. The reason I don't like air layering, particularly here in South Florida where we plant in solid rock, is you don't get a tap root. So when you air layer, what Noah is talking about is a form of cloning a tree where, pretend this is a tree branch. I go to the branch and I remove the bark, say for 3 inches. Then I coat that with rooting hormone. I go around that with damp moss, and then I seal it on both ends. And I wait a few months. I take everything off, and there will be roots coming out, okay? I then cut the tree, I cut the branch from the tree, and then I take that and where the roots are, and I stick them in the ground, and then that will continue to grow, but it'll be a clone of the tree I took it from. That's what he's referring there to. And what he's contrasting it with is a methodology where we plant a seed and we let a seedling grow, and then we cut a little split in that seedling. We go to a tree we want to clone. We take a cutting from that tree and cut a wedge. We put the wedge in the slit, tape it up, and we get a tree to grow. The difference is the seed-grown fruit will give you a tap root, which is that thick root that goes straight down, which is like a super highway for nutrients to grow your tree faster and to hold it in the ground on windy days. The air layered one never grows a tap root. And so it's just got roots going out sideways. It'd be like if someone sewed your mouth 3/4 the way shut. You're not going to be able to take on nutrition as fast. And so that's why we prefer grafting onto seedlings. Occam's razor has good fruit set. So do I. I'm very happy. We're at a point now where only like a really bad windstorm could hurt us, which is good. Let's see. Noah, you found a 5-gallon Lila at Home Depot, which was 7 feet tall with tons of, okay, that's fantastic. Yes, and you're right. If you repotted it, if you didn't want to get fruit off of it this year, you were fine to repot it because, yeah, it's going to drop those fruit. If you left it in the pot, you might have got a few of those fruit and repotted it. But, when you repot it now with the fruit dropped, it's just going to grow roots and grow you a more healthy tree. So you're going to be good. Where are you, Noah? Are you on the West Coast? Are you in California? Where is it that you would find a Lila avocado at Home Depot? I want to know. And then, okay, so Jupiter, you're all in the ground and you don't have any type A's. If you're going to get a type A, I recommend the Simmons. It is absolutely delicious, Jupiter. But okay, so back to your question. So your question was your Lula didn't flower, but your Brogdon and your Oro Negro, it sounds like they did flower. If they're in the ground and flowering, probably both of them are going to try to give you fruit. Certainly the Brogdon's going to try to give you fruit. It's fertile. It's a fertile tree, I've noticed. And so it's your choice, you know, if you want to let them bear the fruit this year or you'd rather prune it away and get tree growth. I got to make a few more boxes here. So how about anyone else? Does anyone else grow? And if yes, what are you growing? And if you're in Florida, tell me what kind of activity are you having now that spring is here for us? I realize it's not quite spring up north yet, but it's spring for us here in South Florida. How's your stuff looking? Let me know. Let me do a few of these boxes. I told my wife I was going to do these, and then what am I doing? How am I doing this? Like this, okay. If she gets home and sees I didn't do them, she's gonna bust my balls. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Frosty, you still out there, buddy? Where's my buddy Frosty? Okay, so Broke Farmer, you're growing fruit trees and citrus, and it looks great. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great year. Also, our new avocado grove, we had to go in and clear, like there was, 10 feet high grass. And yeah, we do have heavy equipment, but it's really unsafe to just fire up a shredder or any type of heavy equipment like that without really making a pass first. So we were in there with machetes clearing that stuff out. And the reason it's dangerous to go in with heavy equipment is because you never know, someone might have parked an old truck and that grass is hiding it. And you do not want something, spinning at high RPMs with big sharp teeth on it to connect with an engine block or something like that, because those teeth are going to fly for hundreds of yards. They go right through the wall of a house. And so we went in by hand, cleared all the tall grass, and we're kind of working our way down. We had areas we had to use some weed kill. They were just too overgrown. We don't even know what's in there yet, what's in those sections of the grove. And then after that, we'll go in with the mower, and we'll just, once we get it to where it's manageable, we'll be able to mow it and keep it manageable. So I'll be showing videos of that farm. And the flowering has been amazing in the avocado farm. And then in my mango grove, the fruit set is looking real good. I mean, I was there last Monday, and then I went back on, was it Thursday? Or was it when? Yeah, it was Thursday. So I was there on Monday. I went back on Wednesday. There was twice as much visible fruit just in those 4 days. That grove was a barren wasteland last year. I had a decent production out of my kits, my Kents, and what else did okay? There was one Palmer tree that produced really well. None of the other Palmers produced. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got out of there was Kits and Kents last year. Not even the Valencia Prides did good there, although they did do good in my property here. Let's see, we have any questions here. Occam's Razor, mango, sapodilla, mame, a few avocado, and citrus in pots. Yeah, I get that. Okay, oh, you're in Doral. Okay, Noah. You're at Home Depot right now. Interesting. Could be Lila, could be Lula even. If it's down here in South Florida, it depends where they source their trees from. Either way, you can't go wrong. I've heard good things about the Lila, and personally, the Lula is my favorite avocado, so I obviously know good things about that too. Frosty, you still out there, buddy? Sid, you still out there? Although I think you said you were driving, so I don't need you replying to me, Sid. This is the less glamorous part of the farming job. People think when you tell them you're a farmer, they see you with like a pitch, what do you call that? A pitchfork over your shoulder and a straw hat and Mr. Bluebird on your shoulder, and you're out there, digging holes and throwing feed to chickens, but that's really a very small percentage of the job. Most of the job is fixing broken equipment and this kind of stuff, and being on the phone with legislators and all that kind of stuff. It's like running any other business. It seems like, oh, you just kind of grow and pour water and pick fruit and it's a great life. But, it's a business like any other. You got to deal with all aspects, and typically the owner, in the case of a farm, that would be the farmer, is the one who gets stuck doing the one-off stuff, calling the state of Tallahassee, coordinating with the capital of Tallahassee, coordinating with Sacramento and California and all that kind of stuff. You know, your piece of crap old, 15-year tractor goes down again. Let's see what else we got here. Gardening today took his message back. Dang, I really want to see what you said. Jupiter, all your mangoes there got hit with the cold rain. Lots of challenges spraying with sulfur. But your Bailey's M4 Pina Colada, Cotton Candy, and Fruit Punch are loaded. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. And I just started seeing pictures people are putting on Facebook up there in Palm Beach County. There seems to have been some sooty mold or whatever. What do you call that stuff? Yeah, that you spray the sulfur for. It seems like a lot of people got hit with that. We're lucky it doesn't, or last year it hit some people, but we don't get hit with that stuff as much as you guys do. Of course, we have the anthracnose like everyone else, but we don't get hit with those powdery mildews and stuff like that as bad as y'all do up a little further north. Okay, Noah's excited. It's his first time having avocado or mango flower big enough to hold fruit. Okay, so my advice to you, Noah, is, don't hug your tree to death. You know what I mean? Don't overanalyze it. It's going to drop fruit. That's what fruit trees do. They produce more fruit than they intend to make it all the way to maturity. If you see some fruit drop, it's natural. I mean, I probably drop more avocados than make it out in my grove. It'll be raining little baby avocados in about 3 months out there. It's just the way it is. Jupiter, lemon zest and Hayden seem to be later flowering and loaded with flowers. Our Hayden are great. I have a teeny tiny lemon zest. He didn't even flower yet. This will only be his first full season. I put him in at the beginning of rainy season last year. And he's still tiny. But I love that lemon zest. So good. And then gardening today. Hello, Sleepy Lizard. I didn't know there was a difference in grafting, root. Okay, yep. Yeah, there's different types of, you deleted the original comment by mistake. Yeah, there's different ways, different techniques of grafting. There's all kinds of techniques. I've seen grafts where people have taken 2 seedlings and ran them both into a cutting. I've seen where people have taken a seedling and a live branch from a big tree, the big trunk, and they they put one side of the cutting on the seedling and they graft the other side from the tree. The thought being you're going to get so much more energy and a bigger push from the full tree. And then once your graft gets going, you cut the branch from the tree and then you've got the pot with the seedling, to get a faster head start. I would say tree growing is probably the one area maybe we don't need to focus on making things happen fast. Planting a tree is a 60-year, 80-year, multi-generational project. And I mean, okay, let's say we rush it, right? And what would have happened in 8 years takes 4 years. That's still a hell of a long time. Like, in other words, if you don't have the patience to wait 8 years, you don't have the patience to wait 4. I'm talking to backyard growers here. Now, commercial, different story. You know what I mean? Depending on the type of crop and that sort of thing. Yeah, farmers want trees that are going to mature faster, particularly in the lumber industry, the paper and pulp industry. But you're still we still measure in increments of decades, with this kind of thing. So I feel like with this tree growing, we've kind of hit a technique that's better than good enough, which is traditional grafting onto rootstock. The other methods are cool and stuff like that, but I don't see a value. Now, maybe certain crops in certain parts of the world, you've got a shorter growing season, you might need to make that happen. But I'm saying, like, for us here, for your run-of-the-mill tropical fruits, I don't see it. But it's cool, the different types of grafting there are. Oh, okay. Yeah, gardening today, you're going to be putting your mango in this season. And as I always suggest, wait for the first storm or 2 of rainy season and then get that sucker in the ground. It's always best to put them in right before rainy season starts. And, we're coming up on an hour here, guys. I I'm really not getting my boxes done. I'm spending too much time chit-chatting. In my mind, I was going to be, just rotely working on these boxes and chatting with you guys, but I can't do that. What I'm doing right now feels very like rude and neglectful. I want to be plugged into the conversation. So I think I'm going to call it quits here and thank you all for being on the chat, on the stream. And I'm going to ask if you would please consider going to guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. If you've never tried mamey, you can get yourself some mamey there and give it a try. You can pre-order some mangoes or some avocados for the 2025 season. We'll begin shipping mangoes probably late May, avocados early to mid-June, maybe late June. It all depends on Mother Nature. And if you ain't into eating fruit, but you like the looks of this shirt or this hat, you can get them also out there too. Once again, that's guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. I look forward to you guys spending the afternoon, spending the early evening with me, but I've got about 150 more boxes I got to get done that ain't going to get done. So while I get to them boxes, y'all go out to guacfarm.com, and I will see you on the next stream.